Good morning students. In the last class we have discussed about different types of losses like absorption, scattering losses, bending losses, and there is one more type of losses called core and cladding losses. Core and cladding losses. See, as we know, the core refractive index, let it be N1, and the cladding refractive index be N2. For any optical fiber preparation, N1 must be always greater than N2. That means the core refractive index must be always greater than N2. This refractive index difference at the walls of the optical fiber, at the walls of the optical fiber, this refractive index difference will also lead to certain amount of attenuation, that is loss, and let the core loss be alpha 1 and the cladding loss be alpha 2, and let us assume that the power factors P core by P, that means the power that is being transmitted and the power that is being coupled at the core, and P cladding by P. Let P core by P and P cladding by P be the fraction of powers at core and the cladding part. Now suppose if you take a step index fiber operating at a mode Vm, then the total amount of attenuation in the step index fiber at the core and the cladding interface be alpha 1 P core by P plus alpha 2 P clad by P. This is the expression that is given for the amount of attenuation at the core and cladding losses. If we are going for lower order modes, then alpha Vm equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 minus alpha 1 into P cladding by alpha 1 minus alpha 2 minus alpha 1 into P cladding by P. This is the total amount of attenuation that is caused in the core and cladding losses. Whereas for graded index fiber, with lower order modes, alpha Vm equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 minus alpha 1 into n square of 0 minus n square of r by n square of 0 minus n2 square. As you know, the graded index fiber which operates at the radial distance from the center, as the refractive index where is inside the optical fiber, so accordingly we are writing this expression for lower order modes. So these are the equations that are governing the core and cladding losses that can lead to the attenuation in an optical fiber. This is about the attenuation. So in an optical fiber, the signal weakens as it travels through a longer distance. In an optical fiber, as it travels in the optical to a distance, the signal weakens due to mainly two reasons. One is attenuation, the second one is due to dispersion. These are the two main factors for this signal distortion in the optical fiber. Already we have learnt about what is attenuation and what are the different factors that are causing this attenuation, and now we are going to discuss about dispersion. Attenuation is loss of power, we can say. Coming to the second part, dispersion is spreading of signal or spreading of light pulses. In brief, we can say the dispersion is spreading of light pulses. As the light is traveling inside the optical fiber, the pulses will slowly taking longer times when they reach to the destination. What is the main reason for taking this longer times? As we know, we have single mode and multi-mode fibers. When we are dealing with multi-mode fibers, different signals will be traveling at different signals will be taking different paths. So let us assume that this is the optical fiber cladding, and this is the core region. When we are incidenting a light ray onto it, it will take different modes, will have different paths, right? So while they are coming out of this optical fiber, all the modes does not reach to the destination at the same time. This dependency of the output on its propagation times lead to the spreading of the light pulses. This difference in propagation times leads to pulse spreading, and this pulse spreading we call it as dispersion. When this pulse spreading is separable, that means until and unless we can separate these signals at the receiver end, the pulse spreading is a positive thing. That means it is bearable until and unless it is separable. If the pulse spreading becomes unseparable, that means the signals are getting mixed up with one another and we cannot differentiate from one signal to another, then those are unseparable signals and no more we can retrieve the original one at the receiver end. Then the dispersion will be a worst thing that we can see in the signal transmission. See how the dispersion and pulse spreading happens in an optical fiber. So let us take a signal. These are the signal pulses that are traveling at different times, T1, T2, T3. This is the original message signal. When this signal travels for certain time interval, what happens is each pulse of this particular signal starts broadening its timing. Here the signal broadens to some extent. So this part of the broadening what we are seeing from one pulse to the another pulse, pulse 1 and pulse 2, is where we can differentiate the pulse 1 and pulse 2, so that at the receiver part these two signals are separable. After a certain time, here again the pulse P1 and P2 are still more broadened, and here also to some extent they are separable at the receiver. In the last case, where the peaks of the two pulses are almost in the high range. The peaks of the two pulses are in almost high range. There is no zero line showing here. Here part of the signal is showing a zero line, and here to some extent, and whereas here both the peaks are showing the maximum values only. So it resembles like it is a high value and it is a high value when we take in a digital format. So in this case they are no more separable. So what we say, this inseparability will lead to inter-symbol interference. This inseparability or mixing of the two pulses P1 and P2 is called as inter-symbol interference. This inter-symbol interference is nothing but your error rate, the amount of error that we can encounter in a signal transmission. What is the after effect of this error rate? How it affects? The error rate will directly affects the bandwidth of the system or its information carrying. It directly affects the bandwidth or the information carrying capacity of the system. So this pulse broadening, what we are calling as dispersion, is leading to the information carrying capacity degradation, and its bandwidth is getting reduced. As for a no interference signal, the bit rate must be always less than or equal to 1 by 2 tau. The tau is the pulse duration. If we express this Bt, that is your bit rate, in terms of bandwidth, Bt is equal to 2 into its bandwidth. So from this relation between the bit rate and the bandwidth, you can directly observe what is the effect of dispersion on the bandwidth of the signal and its information carrying capacity. So it directly affects on its bandwidth and then in its information carrying capacity. This is about dispersion, and as I have already told you earlier, this pulse broadening is mainly due to the different velocities and the time delays that are occurring in different modes of the signal. That means if multiple signals are traveling in an optical fiber, each signal will be carrying a particular velocity, and at the end of the optical fiber they will be reaching at different time intervals. So before going in deep about the dispersion, we have to know two terms, that is group delay and group velocity. These are the two terms that we must know, and how they are related to the dispersion factor D. How these two terms are related to dispersion, we have to know first before going to learn what is dispersion, what are the types of dispersion and all. Thank you.